Hello and welcome back to Crafted by Corie. If you're new, I'm Corie. Welcome to my channel, and if you're returning, thank you as always for being here. You mean the world to me. I've got some brand new everyday decor projects that'll take you into the new year. So let's go ahead and get right on into the crafting. DIY number one. All right, I have a bunch of these little candle holders, I'm gonna call them, from the Dollar Tree. I was thinking about making some fun candelabra. This piece of scrap wood that I had in my stash wasn't quite long enough for what I wanted to do. So I figured I would do something a little bit different, and I'm going to kind of arrange them as you see here with the three different sizes kind of going diagonal from each other. But securing them down onto my board with hot glue, just a ring inside of each of the little bases. And I'm going to then take floral foam. I'm going to cut this down with my old kitchen knife that I keep in my craft stash. This is now a craft tool. And I'm going to cut the floral foam down into chunks that I can place around on the wood base around all of my little candle holders. So I'm going to secure each of these with hot glue, and I'm putting the hot glue down on the wood rather than right on the foam, just to kind of help not melt the foam. I do have it on the low setting, so it's not super hot. And then I'm kind of piecing everything else in there. I'm just showing you a whole bunch of picks that I pulled out of my flower stash, and I am going to be using these all over. That's a garland that I got from Michael's 50% off, I think it was, a while back. But I'm going to be using all these flower picks and the pieces off of that garland to decorate at the base of what will be my table centerpiece / candelabra. Now, this is certainly something that you could use for the holidays, but I think it's also a piece that you could use throughout the winter. It doesn't necessarily have to be for the holidays. It doesn't necessarily scream Christmas or anything like that. So it's a little bit more versatile. So I'm starting out with my greenery using my evergreen picks. I'm going to call these picks now that I've gotten them all cut off, and just trying to mirror whatever I'm doing on the one side. I'm essentially going to mirror on the other side. Now, it's not going to be exact, but it's going to be basically, it's going to be similar. Let's call it that. It's going to be similar. It will not be exactly mirrored, but I want there to be balance, right? And so however many picks I put on the one side, I'm going to put on the other side, and just make sure that everything, see, it's not going to be exact. I've got one kind of berry on one side, I've got one on the other. You can see that where I am placing them, I'm using the foam that's going all over the base to my advantage, and I am sticking things in wherever they will end up being able to land where I want them, if that makes sense. So it doesn't necessarily matter where the base is, as long as the pretty part is where you want it situated. Now, this is a pick that I got recently from the Hobby Lobby. It was in the fall section, but I thought it looked like little snow buds. So I am using it in my winter table centerpiece here. And I had pulled this apart, true to form. You guys know I'm always pulling my stuff apart. But the neat thing about these Hobby Lobby picks is, and I got it 90% off if I didn't already mention that, but it's a whole bunch of little picks that are wrapped together with floral paper or floral tape. So you can pull that apart and have a whole bunch of little picks to use and manipulate where you want them. Now I'm coming in with a bunch of these little white flowers. I have no idea what these are called. They look like little mini poinsettia to me, but I don't think that's what they actually are. Maybe they are. I don't know, but I am just going to continue layering in my berries and my other flowers, and just doing what makes my heart happy. So that is really what crafting is all about at the end, right? This is something that we do to bring joy. So do what makes your heart happy and what brings you joy and what looks nice to your eye. So I am going to continue to layer this on until I have it all filled in. I've got these other little white flowers that I am dropping in here. And then I have these candles that I picked up from the Dollar Tree that I am just dropping in. They were emergency candles, a pack of 6, but they are perfect for this. So let me know what you think. DIY number 2. All right, these are from the Dollar Tree. This one was a little wobbly. They are candle holders. I didn't even notice that when I purchased it, but then I have this other little candle holder from my stash that I am going to use, and it's actually fine because I want these to be 2 different heights, so I'm going to use that other little glass one on the wobbly one. Now this is a candle from the Dollar Tree. As you saw, you can peel those wrapper little decoration, whatever you want to call them, right off. And I'm using some rubbing alcohol and now my Dollar Tree razor blade scratchy thing to take off the glue and also the printed ink. There was like a little timestamp or some sort of quality stamp on there that came right off with that. I am now using my matte Mod Podge and I'm going to give the entire surface of the glass 1 coat, and I'm going to set that aside to let it dry. I've just got it sitting on some parchment paper, which it will not stick to. Then I'm going to finish cleaning up my little candle holders and adhere that one to the bottom. I'm kind of doing it upside down, and I'm thinking that's going to kind of create a really fun continuous shape there. This is my E6000. I'm using a little bit of this as well as a little bit of hot glue that you'll see me use in a minute. So I've got that instant bond with the hot glue, but then the long-term hold with the E6000. Because the hot glue really doesn't do well with glass. It will pop right off. So need a little bit of that extra hold. So I've got this all glued down, and now I'm going to wipe away any of that excess glue that might be kind of sticking out. I'm using my fingernail to get the hot glue that smushed out of there. And now I'm going to give everything a good couple of coats of white Adirondack chalk paint. And I'm using a little sponge. One of my subscribers recently shared that if you use the sponge, it helps with multiple coats of paint and not taking the paint up off of the glass project, so to speak. So now you can see I've got my little mini heat press, my easy press there. I've got some tissue paper from the Hobby Lobby that I had picked up, and I cut it down to the right length here. My Mod Podge is now dry on here, so I'm just going to be ironing this onto my glass surface. And I'm sorry if I'm a little bit out of screen here, out of frame, but I am just measuring off the amount of tissue that I need here to meet up as close as possible at the back. And now I'm wrapping it with some parchment paper just to protect my tissue. It probably would work just fine on its own, but I just wanted to err on the side of caution. So I did put some tissue between the heat element and my tissue paper, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the other candlestick. I love this method of decoupage. I'm absolutely in love with it. So thank you to whoever suggested that I iron it onto a dried Mod Podge surface. It works like a charm. So just running my heated press all over it. And it was not making the glass super hot. I mean, it was warm to the touch right after, but I guess because there wasn't a lot of the heat element on the surface for any extended amount of time because of the curvature of the glass, it was actually super easy to handle. and I got it all nailed down there. But then I did go ahead and on the edges, I added some Mod Podge. I kind of stuck it in underneath there as well, and just wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to start lifting over time. I do eventually put something else over top of it, so it was kind of overkill. But I did Mod Podge right along the seam. I opted not to go over the entire surface with the Mod Podge because I didn't know if it would start making it not warp, but wrinkle, like a bulge and wrinkle. Swell. That's probably the right word. Oh, goodness. I think you know what I mean. But I pulled out some adhesive cork from my stash, and I trimmed up 2 little circles that I could put at the bottoms of my candles. This is probably overkill, you guys, but I just decided that that's what I was going to do to finish off the bottom of my candlesticks. And that is really pretty much it. Now they're ready to go on the little candle holders that we created. These are going to look absolutely fantastic on my mantle. You can kind of see the seam at the back there, but the front looks phenomenal. I love it, but let me know what you think. DIY number 3. All right, I have a vase from the Dollar Tree. This is inspired by something I saw in a magazine recently, and I, for the life of me, couldn't tell you what magazine it was in. Some sort of I think it was a local decor magazine, but it was essentially a white vase with a blue feather pattern on it, and I'm going to recreate it by hand, so it is not going to be perfect, but I think it is super fun. I'm using the sponge yet again to apply my paint. I really do like this method. I have always struggled with applying chalk paint to glass. Never have a problem with the first coat, but whenever I tried to do the second coat, it just likes to come off with, or the first coat likes to come up with the second coat. So I don't know. But the sponge method seemed to work really well for me. So here I am using a Dollar Tree metallic marker, and I love this marker. I had done a while back some, basically they were Christmas balls that I cut the little knobby off of and made into just little white globes and did a floral pattern on them with this marker, and I still am absolutely in love with that little globe. I've got a couple of them, actually 3, I think, with different patterns on them that I have in a little bowl on one of my tables in my house. I love it. So this is what I opted to use for this. Again, it is not perfect. My pattern is definitely a little off, but I'm just creating the feathers and the dots with the squiggle lines, separating everything, going around the entire perimeter? No, you know what I mean. Going all around the vase. What is that word when you go all the way around something? I don't know. But covering the entire surface of the vase. How's that? And just taking my time. Keep in mind that this is sped up about 2.5 times, so I am not going as fast as I look like I'm going. So just take your time, give yourself some grace, be patient with yourself. You can see my squiggle lines aren't even lined up there. That was kind of bothering me a little bit, but then I decided, you know what? This is abstract. So the end result, turned out super sweet, and I am going to enjoy it for years to come, I am sure. So, like I said, be kind to yourself. And if you don't like what you've created, you can always paint over it. It is not the end of the world. So there are always options. And if you don't like this pattern, you can create a different type of pattern. Or if you don't like this color, if it doesn't fit into your color scheme in your home, you can use a completely different color. It doesn't matter. Whatever is going to make your heart happy and your eyes smile, that is what you can go with. So it's all about taking the inspiration and being creative. That's really what it boils down to in the end. But I love this piece. I hope you like it too. Let me know what you think. Okay, everybody, that's it for today. I hope that you enjoyed the projects. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know which was your favorite. And until the next time, be well, be kind, and make it a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Happy holidays. Take good care. Bye.